el archivo este no se llama como le llamas tú. Se llama data y necesitas que se llame data para hacer parámetros que estén para que se llame parámetros.
Okay, so when it's version 1.2 the version that has the good version of it.
No, it's not.
Al resto de personas. No voy a pasar por Okay, well, since we have technical problems, I will pass to Pedro.
Lucas by drive? By email, no?
There is one file missing, I don't know why. But and try to get in small groups of 2-3 persons with somebody who is from LOCOMOTION and has the full version of dancing in its computer, and so you can work in groups of 2-3 people to make the exercise. Okay. So.
The exit file, the error that we don't have the get direct constants.
Yeah, it's because there is one file missing, or one folder missing in the data that Lucas sent.
So we
I
need
don't know why.
the complete version.
Yes, I'm going to give it to you in these two.
How many people has the complete version of benzene? So we can enough to prepare some groups.
Yeah, 8 groups.
Okay.
It doesn't work for me.
You need another file.
You need another file, it's because I don't know. Well.
So try to be in a group with the people that has the complete version just for this exercise.
So now
maybe Sarah, maybe you can go here and you can work with the people, the Chinese group. Okay? Then you have already a couple of licenses. Someone wants to work with Paola? You can choose. Martin, you want to as you want. Okay, as you want. Okay, you can stay.
It's in the folder somewhere. Where like
Paola, si tienes el documento, si no, envíamelo por correo. ¿Qué falta? Yes, but we that's why like that will work.
Okay, and in the meanwhile, I'm going to show you some examples. A ver, how do I do? Luca. Because now I have to share my screen, no? Okay, here's my screen. Well, this is more or less. Okay. What is it? So, I'm not sharing the screen. Well, so okay.
Goes slow.
Yeah, it's
The connection is slow. So
okay, so it goes.
so be patient.
Okay, so well, I have 3 examples. 2 of land use and 1 of yields, and then the practical exercise. Okay, what are we doing on the land model with all the feedbacks? Because then it will be a mess. And also because some of the numbers are still have to be fixed. But we can work with a simplified version and a simplified use. Because, well, you remember that I told you that we have this land products demand and land products production, and it's confronted to see the availability. And then there are some feedbacks and so on. But right now, we are going to do something more simple, which is modifying directly the demand of land uses. And demand exogenous land for solar, and exogenous demand for plantation, and exogenous demand for croplands. So I'm going to make this demand exogenous. And just see what happens with all the module of land uses. Okay, okay. Well, and the output is the land uses. So directly, okay. Well, this is in a file that I have here, and I'm going to show you how to use it. You have here some instructions how to do it yourself for the next example, in case you want to do something similar. So this is my exercise. Okay. I am going to run this. This is not really a model. This is only a simplified version that has the module to process. Well, you can see here the land uses. No? Here are the views of the land module, the ones I explained to you. And here is land water land uses. Is this one? Well, here you can see that we have put these variables, which are in purple, which are switches. These switches are a very useful tool for the model, and they enable us to do tests in the model. So it's a variable that enables us, for example, in this case, to break feedback loop, or to test this part, or disconnect this part of the model from the others, and so on. So I have switch to what I told you before. Do it without feedback. And this is the exogenous land use changes. So I want to make the cropland rainfed grow 50% more of the initial land that I have in each region in 20 years. That's why I'm using the equation of these exogenous land changes of cropland rainfed, this equation. So I take the initial land use in 2005 of cropland rainfed and divide by 20. It means that in 20 years I will have more land for cropland than I had in the initial time. Okay, so this is what I call my policy, my test variable. Well, this is not very realistic, but it's what I'm used to test the model. And see, here we have the equations. Here is for cropland rainfed. For cropland irrigated, the increment is 0. I didn't do anything. For forest is 0 as well, forest primary as well. But for forest plantation, I do the similar thing. I increment the forest plantation land by 50% in 20 years. And shrubland 0, grassland 0, and solar land, I do, well, initially, I didn't put any solar land in this example. Well, I have this initial land, but it's multiplied by 0 because in this example I don't want to. Okay.
People doesn't manage fencing as you.
No, but you don't need to make this in fencing. It is only mine, okay? Because in your example, maybe you have different numbers. This is just the example that I did. Okay, we can run this. And it works. But I'm not going to run it because I have already the data sets calculated, so in case I have a mistake, it is already done. Here in the control panel, I have the data. Okay, and this is the baseline. The baseline is what happens when I do nothing, when I don't introduce these changes that I told you. This is the trend of land use changes. And here you have the view of some land use changes. I have cropland in blue, you can see. Forest managed in blue, in red. In green, I have forest plantation, which is this, and this is shrubland. This is only for the European Union, because we have 9 regions and we cannot see all the data, so we are going to use the examples with the European Union. And this is between 2005 and 2050. So you can see that the trend of the forest, for example, which is the red, is not changing much. It's going slowly down, so it's kept more or less going quite a lot. So we leave it grow, more or less in the same way. Shrubland has been lost, but this is not lost anymore because, well, the trend of loss cannot be maintained to the European politics of land agrarian policies, so we left it constant, and so on. Okay, this is the trend. You can also see this trend in this variable, which is here, which is land use in the region. And you can take a graph and see if the plot is the same, more or less. Okay. And let's see what happens if we do what I told you. Let's have a cropland growth. With no limits. Let's see what happens. Okay, well, this is a very extreme example of cropland. This is the new file. Here we have the trend in red of cropland.
No.
Yeah. Okay, so this is the original trend of the cropland, and this is what happens when I ask the cropland to be increased by 50% in 20 years, which is here is already half more, no? Okay, but this land comes from other uses, and this example is coming mainly from shrubland, which is what has happened in the European Union in the past. The land was abandoned for shrubland. And well, some plantations are still growing. But well, this is not very realistic because the growth of cropland has no limits. So let's see what happens if we set the limits to cropland. The limits are in these variables here. Yeah, we have the minimum land uses by region and the maximum land uses by region, no? Maximum changes of land uses. So if we introduce the policy of limits, well, this is not a policy, this is just a reasonable limit of the amount of shrubland that can be converted into cropland, then we have another run. Well, in order to do that, we will have to touch these Excel files were the parameters of the modules or not. No. We're changing the Excel files. From 0, 1 to 2. No? All the rest of the numbers of the model, which are many, are stored in some Excel files which are in these folders that you see here. Oh, okay. And we have model parameters which are parameters that are model, not the working package. And we have one of land and water, and this is our file, land and water parameters. It has several.
There is a lab because we see or que va con retardo por
Yeah,
la
Could you simplify it? Can you simplify it or not?
You have it. You have it.
It's already sent to you.
No, it's not loading, it's crashing.
You don't have model parameters.
No, I don't have model parameters. I can also put it on the model parameters.
This file. This file.
Aquí, here sí, lo que pasa es all what there is now you can see the Excel file here. Here is the diet program land uses. And in land uses, for example, we have this matrix here, which is the link to land use changes. And by region. And it tells us what is the limit of the rain-fed cropland into forest management. So this is the limits. For example, limits were reactive. Now I have another one which is here. With the no. Maybe couldn't we just okay.